Almighty God, who, in thy infinite wisdom and providential goodness, has appointed the offices of rulers and councils for the welfare of society and the just government of man, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in thy presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the good of all those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. All which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Good morning to all.
Obituary and congratulatory remarks.
Next. Okay, so we move to the next item.
Confirmation of minutes.
Madam Speaker.
Yes?
We had obituary. We're not going to have that.
The member, I wish you would rise in a more early way. I waited, nobody said anything, so we've moved to the next item.
The clerk approached you and then the Prime Minister approached you. I can't stand while
they approached me after. There was a little lull. I'm quite sure about that. You know, if you have something to say, you stand up. You're so good at doing it at other times.
I had something to contribute on the obituary.
Pardon?
I had something to contribute on the obituary. I had something to say.
Sir, I wish you all would stand, you know, urgently. This is, we have a long agenda. I will allow you, but please, when members want to rise, can you all do so promptly and not wait to see if anything is going to happen? Okay? If you have something to say, you rise promptly. Go ahead. If you have, you said you have an obituary.
Yes.
Is it a member of parliament? Is it? Because we don't normally do it for constituents, okay? It has to be, you know, to deal with parliament. Okay. Because if we had to do it for every constituent, you know, we'd be here all day.
Okay, Madam Speaker, I'd like to extend to Mrs. Greta Emmanuel, wife of Mr.
He wasn't a parliamentarian or anything like that. He's your constituent. I don't think that...
He was a magistrate.
You know...
we don't do that only for parliamentarians.
Yes, but we do it for persons who are recognized also in some connection to the parliament. As I said to you, if we did it for every member of a constituency, we'd be here all day just doing that and nothing else.
Just
okay?
Two people I have to mention.
Yes, but sir, you have the media, you can go and do it on, you have written media and so on. I don't think that I can accept that. I'm sorry, but I have to draw the line somewhere. Okay? Can we continue with the...
Madam Speaker, I rise on a matter of congratulatory remarks, Madam Speaker.
No, but remember the same thing applies to you.
Very well, Madam Speaker.
You have to rise promptly. Let us continue. I'll tell you what I'll do. Before the afternoon hour, members who need to make remarks, can they see me in my chamber, and I will tell them, and we can do it after lunch. But I don't think we need to be doing this. Can we have the confirmation of minutes, please?
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the minutes of the meeting of Saturday, 7th October 2017 be confirmed as circulated.
Seconded.
It has been moved and, okay, I'm going to give members a chance.
Just quickly, Madam Speaker, on a point of clarification. During the last sitting, I think we suspended a few standing orders during the last sitting. I just wanted to find out if they will be back on this. Carrying the live broadcast and some other standing orders were suspended. Yes, yeah. I just wanted to clarification.
I didn't see the need to capture it, but if a member wishes to put it in.
I don't think that,
It's there actually.
Madam Speaker, I think, I may be wrong, the member can clarify for himself, but my understanding is I think the member is asking whether that continues to this sitting.
Is that what you're asking? So in fact you're not objecting to anything concerning the minutes? Good. Jeez. Thank you. Okay, so it has been moved and second.
In the minutes here, Madam Speaker, absent Honorable Ezekiel Basil. The point here is that, Madam Speaker, I was not notified of the sitting. And I'm a little concerned. I just want to put that on the record that I was not notified of the sitting. However, it is there. I'm here absent.
Did you receive your...
No, Madam Speaker, and that's the point I'm making. So I want
no,
to put it on the
this
record.
one, did you receive the minutes
one,
that
yes.
were sent to you?
Yes.
And did you call the clerk to let the clerk know that that was not done?
Well, Madam Speaker, I think there's a forum to do that because I went on the record.
Right,
I
so
want it on the
you're
record,
saying that
Madam
you did not
Speaker.
receive it?
I did not receive, I went on the record, Madam Speaker, that I did not receive a notice for the sitting of that house.
Okay, right. We'll take note of that so that we're...
But I think, honestly, that should be written to the clerk of the House. Madam Speaker, properly. Yes, there was issue of
Communication was a terrible issue.
In terms of radio and television. But the members' colleagues were here. I would have thought that they would have a caucus before. That notwithstanding, Madam Speaker, that having heard there was a sitting which you were not informed because the clerk would have sent the documents to the address that you'll always receive it for the last 10 years. So I'm saying that in the future, member for Salisbury, for Wesley, sorry, I would respectfully suggest that you may want to write to the clerk of the House of Assembly to draw to his attention a glitch in communicating with you so that it could be brought to the House by the Speaker in that manner. But how do we capture in the minutes now of this meeting the fact that you did not receive your invitation? That's just a matter for, I guess,
well, it's a notice, really.
And the Speaker to address.
Madam Speaker, I'm not disputing the fact that at the time that there was a communication issue on island. However, this minute is reflecting that I was absent. I wanted it simply on the record.
The point that is being made, without cutting across you, is that from the time that happened in October, we are now in May. Have you ever communicated to the clerk since then that you did not receive that notice? Sir, I did have a crystal ball, but it was destroyed in the hurricane. So I have no crystal ball to let me know about things that I don't have first-hand knowledge of. So it's helpful if you communicate with the clerk. You just call the clerk and say, do you know that at that meeting I did not get? Look, I've just had my minutes and it's not reflected there. Can you assist, please? it would be so much more helpful. Because, as I've said to members before, administrative matters are for the office, not for this chamber. And this is an administrative matter.
Speaker, I just, for procedure, I'm not saying that the member did not or he received it. That's the matter for him and the clerk, because this is strictly an administrative matter.
That's what I'm saying.
The members of Parliament do not deal with administrative matters. I cannot take here and agree for the minutes to reflect that you did not receive your invitation.
Exactly.
That is not for the House. The House members here, strictly speaking in law, do not deal with administrative matters. That's why you have a clerk of the House with clear legal authorities and responsibilities and duties. And that is a matter, because when you receive it, you receive from the clerk. This is a matter which should have been addressed to the clerk. And if the Speaker feels it necessary to draw it to the attention of the House, the Speaker may choose to do so. But this is expressly and exclusively.
This is what I'm saying.
I must bring to bear my little experience in the House to help the process, if we've got knowledge of the rules. But I understand your anxiety, member. So we're not disputing that whether you received or not. It's just an administrative matter we're saying that should have been dealt with the clerk. That's all we're saying.
Does the member understand the nature of...
I'm not wasting my time any further with this matter. I've made it clear. It is on the record, and I call it a day.
It's on which records is on? I mean, members, you know, members have to understand the rules. If you read a rule and you don't understand it, member, will you listen to me when I'm speaking to you so that you don't do the same thing over again?
Starting this sitting with this type of thing, Madam Speaker. This is the minutes of the House. The minutes of the House, Madam Speaker. This is why it is reflecting something. I'm correcting
the member, we cannot correct it here. No, member, please. Okay? I'm not going to, as I said before, administrative matters are not dealt in the chamber, and I'm going to hold strictly to that. I'm going to move my motion now. It has been moved and seconded that the minutes of the meeting of Saturday, 7th October 2017 be confirmed as circulated. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Next item, please.
Presentation of papers.
I think you missed one.
Announcement by Speaker. Sorry about that.
Okay. And now it is so strange. I have here number 3 on my list. Members are reminded that anyone who wishes to bring an administrative matter to my attention or to ask a question to do with an administrative issue is expected to meet with me in my chambers to discuss such or draw it to the attention of the clerk. Anyone wishing to make such an appointment may do so with the clerk, or in his absence, Ms. Paul or Mrs. Bertrand. Strange that I have that announcement. I guess I am clairvoyant in spite of my losing my crystal ball. Next announcement. Any member who is unable to attend a sitting should write requesting leave of the Speaker in keeping with Standing Order 15.1 and 15.2. Now, I'm going to explain something to tell you what I mean. I received 2 letters from members who will not be here today. The first is from Honorable Ivor Stevenson, and he writes, "As you are aware, I have been on medical leave for some time now. However, I still require additional time for full recovery. It is in this light that I request your consideration to be absent from the sitting of the House of Assembly scheduled to begin on May 1st, 2018. Thank you for your usual consideration." Signed by Honorable Ivor Stevenson. I received another one, though. That one reads, This one comes from the Senator Thompson Fountain, Senator Dr. Thompson Fountain. Dear Honorable Speaker, please note that I will be unable to attend the sitting of Parliament scheduled for May 1st since I am currently overseas on a work assignment, and because of the short notice I was unable to reschedule my travel to return to Dominica on time. I appreciate your kind acceptance. I want the members here to understand. Telling me that you're not coming is not asking for me to give leave. And leave is important in the scheme of things, because if I'm to read Standing Order 15, and I need to do so because members don't seem to understand, and I'm here to explain, so I will do so. Standing Order 15.1. Any member who is unable to attend a meeting, one, to which he has been summoned, shall acquaint the clerk as early as possible of his inability to attend. Good. But here's something else. There's a qualification in Standing Order 15.2. If, without leave or order of the Speaker previously obtained, any member is absent from 3 consecutive meetings of the House to which he has been separately summoned during the same session, such member shall vacate his seat. This means that if it is a one-off thing, you simply notify. But if it is more than one, you require leave. Because if you miss 3 consecutive meetings without leave, there is a penalty. And we've had that already. So members, please, notification and a request for leave are 2 separate things. Now, as it relates to the standing orders of this House, I'm endowed, bestowed, or howsoever you want to put it, with the privilege of interpreting these standing orders. But there comes a time when the interpretation is so clear that it does not even require any kind of explanation. It is right there, so it is only one that you can just write and say, well, I'm not going to be there. Anything else requires leave of the Speaker. Okay? So far, I've given consent to 1 person for leave. Okay? Now, I have another letter which I want to bring to the attention of the House. This letter comes from the Honorable Member for the Roseau Central constituency, and I wish to read the contents of that letter to the House. And let me say before I even begin to read it, that it is because I had not read this letter that I did not bring into the mix the question of congratulatory or otherwise remarks, because I needed to let the members know exactly what was going on by virtue of my announcements. Now I read. This letter was received on 27th of April 2018, and it read, Dear Madam, as you are aware, statements were made by me in the public domain of my decision to sit as an independent member of Parliament. Subsequent to that announcement, the Honorable Prime Minister requested a meeting of myself and some of my key political advisors of the Roseau Central constituency to discuss my intentions. The Honorable Prime Minister met with me and asked whether I am prepared to serve as a member of cabinet in the service of the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. I accepted the offer because I was always of the view that a pre-Maria situation, and certainly a post-Maria, demanded a closing of the political divide which existed in Dominica. I see my acceptance of the ministerial post as a step to close the political divide, which I believe would serve the people of Dominica in general, and particularly the people of Roseau Central constituency. I would therefore be grateful, Madam Speaker, if the appropriate seating arrangements could be made on the government side of the House of Assembly. Consequent upon receiving that's the end of the letter. Consequence upon receiving the letter, the clerk and I decided that we would have to honor the request of the member, and it will be noted and noticed that we have done so. I am not here to cast judgment on anybody, nor do I expect anybody to do so presently in this chamber. But I will offer congratulations to a member of parliament who is now a minister. I consider that an elevation of his status in the House, and therefore I offer my congratulations to the newest Minister of Cabinet, namely the member for Roseau Central, who is now, I have to find the full, it's a long list that we have now, so I'm not very familiar with them yet. Yes, and so it is. Yes, the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Resilience, Disaster Management and Urban Renewal. This is our newest minister, and I offer you my heartiest congratulations. Now, we have two sets of things here. We have obituary and congratulatory remarks. So I'm going back to congratulatory remarks insofar as to allow two members from either side to offer congratulatory remarks. That is this privilege of the speaker. Are we having any members?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of clarification, please. Information.
Pardon? Pardon?
I'm seeking clarification on the announcement by the Speaker
yes.
on an issue. The member for Roseau Central, is he now sitting on the government side as an independent or an independent Liberal?
That I don't go into. This is not my purview. And if you want to do so, you will have to ask him.
Okay, thank
because
you. Thank you,
I didn't think it my business to ask
you, Madam
him.
Speaker.
But of course, you can't ask him in the House, eh? Let me make it clear that you can't ask him in the chamber. You'll have to ask him elsewhere, on your favorite perch, I guess. Okay, so can we have the member, the minister? Yes, Mr. James, come. Were you rising to offer congratulations?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Can you do so, please?
Thank you,
Very
Madam
brief,
Speaker.
please.
Yes, please. Madam Speaker, let me be the first. In fact, I'm honored to be the first to welcome to the Parliament, of course, on the government side this time, my lifelong friend, the Honorable Member for Roseau Central, and now Minister for Environment, Climate Resilience, Disaster Management, and Urban Renewal. The Honorable Isaac and I, we go back a long way, Madam Speaker, from grammar school days, and we also did our A-levels together. Yes, we were that old, back at the sixth form college. And I've always known Honorable Isaac to be a very focused individual and achievement-minded individual, Madam Speaker. And clearly, Madam Speaker, a man of this capacity, Madam Speaker, and abilities, clearly, and as he stated, Madam Speaker, his disposition was not in sync, Madam Speaker, with his former colleagues. And clearly, Madam Speaker, this decision to now serve in the government of Dominica was really not an easy one, I can imagine. But it was a selfless, Madam Speaker, brave and patriotic, a real patriotic decision to come across. And clearly, as I said, Madam Speaker, his desire to serve his country, first and foremost, his country, Madam Speaker, was clearly not being achieved and was never going to be achieved, Madam Speaker, by remaining with the former parties. So let me welcome the Honourable Member for Roseau Central and the Minister of Environment and many other things to the government side, Madam Speaker. Welcome to a loving family, Madam Speaker. That's what we are. We are not fear weather friends, Madam Speaker, who throw our colleagues under the coaster bus when things go wrong. We are a family of love. And in closing, let me just say, Madam Speaker, that while in recent time in social media and other forms of media, he's been chastised and vilified, Madam Speaker, and likened to some nefarious and other unsavory biblical characters, which I wouldn't mention, well, namely one. Let me just say, Madam Speaker, I liken him, Madam Speaker, to Saul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul, who saw his light on the way to Damascus, Madam Speaker. And let me tell my good friend Joseph Isaac, he saw the light in the nick of time. Thank you very much. Yep.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to join the Parliament and to join my colleague here in welcoming, first of all, Honorable Joseph Isaac to this family of nation and building a resilient Dominica. Madam Speaker, it is clear that Joseph Isaac realizes that the days and the time, Minister Isaac, realizes that the time has now come, Madam Speaker, when we all as Dominicans must put ourselves in a position where we can make a positive contribution to the development of this country. Madam Speaker, it was not an easy decision for him, as he himself said, that he's been pursuing this thing for a whole year, trying to convince his colleagues that it was time to, former colleagues, well, he's independent, he's an independent candidate, to hang up their gloves of destruction, Madam Speaker, and come together to seek to rebuild Dominica, particularly after Maria. But, Madam Speaker, arrogance and destruction prevailed, and so Isaac felt that it was time. The Honourable Minister, it took us a little while to get used to it, Madam Speaker, found it was time that he should move to make a positive contribution to the development of the country and to put the Roseau Central, the residents of the Roseau Central constituency, in a better position to achieve their dream and aspiration of a better life for themselves and their families, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you know that the Minister and myself were very adversarial, both in the Parliament and outside of the Parliament. But, Madam Speaker, I've always found that in making his contributions to the Parliament, he was always very objective and tried to put his best point of view forward. And many of them on the other side attempted to, but, Madam Speaker, particularly when one particular member of the opposition was out of the House, it seemed to me, Madam Speaker, that once that particular member was out of the House, you had one nice, jolly family, we laughed, we had fun. But once this guy stepped into the chamber, Madam Speaker, everything changed and everybody went back in their old straight jacket. So it's good to see that Honorable Isaac had really taken that decision that it was time to move and time to make a positive contribution to it. And, Madam Speaker, there are many people out there who would like to join the government or to join the country in that process. But, Madam Speaker, you know that once you decide to help the country, then you turn into a sacrificial lamb and vilify it all over the place. And so many people who would like to come forward to help, Madam Speaker, individuals or institutions, they have a problem, Madam Speaker, because they just know that the whole business is going to be out there and the family going to be chastised. Whether you're sick, you're not well, they will drag you, Madam Speaker, into a position where they will have you to say things that you're not supposed to say, or not even aware that you're saying, Madam Speaker. But in spite of that, Madam Speaker, many people have come, some of them publicly, some of them privately, and we're very gratified and heartened as a government that the majority of good-thinking, patriotic Dominicans are now beginning to buy into the concept that we need all hands on deck and we need to rebuild our country. And it's so, Madam Speaker, I really, really want to congratulate the new minister. And I can tell you, boss, they're not done with you yet. It's going to be a rough road, but you have taken the first step and you have demonstrated your true statesmanship, your patriotism to your country. I want to reassure you that you're in the hands of a caring family and we will defend you. When we have to, we'll take care of you and ensure that the vultures out there don't destroy you. Welcome, Joseph Isaac. Welcome. Madam Speaker, sorry.
I'll just take their place.
Madam Speaker, I too would want to rise and briefly. Madam Speaker, and briefly add my words of congratulatory remarks to the Honorable Joseph Isaac, the newest Minister of Government, Madam Speaker, the Minister for Climate Resilience, Environment, Disaster Management, and Urban Renewal. Madam Speaker, myself and the Honorable Minister happen to go way back, Madam Speaker, way years ago. We played football, him playing for grammar school, I playing for the Boston Secondary School, and in those days as teenagers. So I've known him for a very long time, and we have always maintained a very close and cordial relationship. In fact, I can remember, Madam Speaker, it must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, almost to the date. I'll tell you why I remember it so clearly, because I was attending the Charismatic Conference, which is on in Portsmouth this weekend. It was in Pottersville at the time, at the Goodwill Parish Hall, and I went to have lunch at my Boyd's during the break on Saturday. I went to have a brav. And the honorable member expressed to me his intentions to come into politics, Madam Speaker. And I remember advising the honorable minister, who was then at the time thinking about politics. And I always told him that politics is about nation building. Always put your people first, and I'm happy, Madam Speaker, today that the member has taken a decision that clearly indicates that he wants to put his people first. He wants to work for the well-being and the development not only of the people of the Roseau Central constituency, but of Dominica in general. That is what we are all about. As statesmen, we have to rise and be statesmen even before we think about party allegiances. And I can tell you that on this side of the house, you will get all of the assistance, the direction, and the help that you need to serve your people and to rise above all the challenges, both those you may encounter on the political level and those you may encounter on the constituency level, meeting the needs of your constituents. You're in good hands. The Honorable Prime Minister have proven and have shown the quality of leadership that you would like to identify with. And I can only say to you, the sky is the limit. You have a brilliant and beautiful, wonderful future ahead of you if you want to be in politics. And I think you have joined the right team for the right purpose that will, at the end of the day, history will absolve you. When the history of Dominica is written, it will be said of you that you made the right decision in the interest of your people. Once again, congratulations, Honorable Minister. God bless you, and continue on the right track which you have shown that you are on. Thank you very much.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I rise to extend very brief congratulatory remarks to Honorable Joseph Isaac, the newest minister in the government of Dominica. Madam Speaker, if any one of us were to read my statements in the public domain, I have consistently said that we in the Dominica Labour Party and the government do not have a monopoly on ideas as to how to run this country. We must create an opportunity and a mechanism and a system whereby ideas can contend for the greater good of Dominica. You will recall, Madam Speaker, that after Tropical Storm Erica, I invited all elected members of Parliament, and I gave them, each one of them, direct access to the Treasury, a practice which I do not do because I always maintain there must always be one Minister of Finance in the country at any one time. And we empowered them. They sat around the table in the cabinet. They had access to resources to effect matters relating to our response to Tropical Storm Erica. And my hope and prayer then was that that would have been a good beginning to consolidate the leadership of this country for the greater good of Dominica. Every budget we've had presented here to the Parliament, Madam Speaker, is a culmination of consultation from across the board. NGOs, private sector, the church, the individuals, and getting from them ideas that we can, policies, programs we can put in the budget for the benefit of Dominicans. And, Madam Speaker, what Honorable Isaac has done, and I really congratulate him for his foresightedness and his conviction that he recognized that he has a contribution to make to Dominica. And he could bring to bear his skills and talents to the service of Dominica. And you have recognized, Madam Speaker, that we did not take what the vision that we have expressed about working together. We'll always have differences. There'll always be differences among ourselves. But there must be some things that we can agree on, that we can do for the benefit of every Dominican. So I really want to congratulate him for distancing himself from the myopic view of governance and engagement. There should be no reason, Madam Speaker, why we can't work together on issues affecting people of Dominica. No reason whatsoever. And I do not say so for any political partisan gain, Madam Speaker. I came in this business as a young boy, Madam Speaker, from Vickers, opposition party, made myself available, forgone a scholarship to do a PhD, paid for by the World Bank, Madam Speaker, a master's degree, at the service of people. So I have no axe to grind in Dominica. I don't have a history in politics where I have any adversaries that I am trying to deal with. And you would have seen, Madam Speaker, in the portfolio responsibility given to Honorable Isaac is a serious portfolio. Yes. It is really, Madam Speaker, at the core of the country's efforts to respond to natural disasters and climatic change, and developing a strategy and implementing a strategy to build the world's first climate resilient nation for ourselves. So this is not just talk we are articulating. It is about being serious, because governance, representation is a serious matter, Madam Speaker. And his actions distinguishes himself from others who are just there to look for position and to look for fame, as opposed to representing people and interested in nation building. Because many people will come into this politics for different reasons, but you must come to serve people and do what you must to serve people well. Negativism will never serve the people well, Madam Speaker. This politics was never meant to be a blood sport. It was never meant to maim people, to defame people. It's about, yes, we come here and we argue in the parliament, we rough with each other, but we can go and have a cup of coffee after. When Honorable Earl Williams was in this house, Madam Speaker, he and I would banter, but never personal. At the end, Earl would fire a few shots at me and he would signal me, let's go outside, and we go outside and we talk and we laugh. I will say to the House, Madam Speaker, for the records, I got to know of Mr. Williams' troubles before anybody in Dominica got to know about his troubles. And I picked up my phone in my office and I called Mr. Williams. I said, Earl, comrade, we used to call it your comrade. You have an issue, fix that fast before it messes you up. I did not go in the public domain with it, because I recognize that Earl has children, he has parents, he is a human being. And I will not tell you, Madam Speaker, the House, that's private matter, what else I did to assist Mr. Williams. As a human being. Because at the end of the day, Madam Speaker, we are all human beings.
I beg to rise
Madam Speaker,
on a point of order.
So,
Madam Speaker, you asked for congratulatory messages to the Honourable Minister of Free Minister Less. I know you have, but Madam Speaker, that's an abuse of privilege. This is an abuse of privilege. I will take my seat.
So Honourable Isaac, I want to congratulate you. I want to wish you well. It is hard work. This is not an 8 to 4 job. The nation looks forward to your contribution, your talent, your skills. And as the world has seen, we have embraced you. And as the leader of the government side, and as the chairman of the cabinet, we will provide you with all of the guidance necessary and all of the logistical support necessary and the love. Because when you're working together with people, there must be a genuine expression of love and camaraderie and brotherhood and sisterhood. And if somebody is your brother or your sister, it cannot be for a moment. It must always be your brother and sister. You'll have differences. And the Dominican public must take note, Madam Speaker, of the viciousness, the anger of which they have attacked a man who all he has done is to say, gentlemen, Dominicans, I want to make a greater contribution to nation building. That's all he has done. That's all he has done. And he is being vilified. He's been attacked. He's been named, Madam Speaker. That's all he has. That's all he has done. Just to say, I am prepared to work to provide greater support to this country, especially in this post-Maria situation. So, my brother, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless your efforts. And may God protect your path. Thank you very much.
The member for Roseau North, can you contain yourself, please? You are... No, you can make your sides but softer. I shouldn't hear them. Please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
What a friend,
Yes.
Enemies, no friends like that.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the Prime Minister for inviting me to be a member of Cabinet, and the other members of Cabinet for welcoming me in a most genuine and loving and supportive manner. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the hundreds of supporters who have showered me with love, support, and prayers and hugs to strengthen my resolve, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, doing something new is always a lonely process. But Madam Speaker, for those who don't catch the vision, and for those who don't understand this mission of selflessness, I'll say according to Fidel Castro, it doesn't matter what you think now, but history will absolve me, Madam Speaker. As I said before, Madam Speaker, Dominica needs all hands on deck. If the Prime Minister, and by extension, government fails, all of us fail, Madam Speaker. And what we'll be fighting for at the end will be rubble, Madam Speaker. With the help of God, we shall succeed in building a better and stronger Dominica. I'm therefore appealing to all Dominicans to come on board. I'm specifically asking the opposition members to embrace this new vision of a nationalistic approach to building back Dominica. Madam Speaker, I've articulated these sentiments after being on the ground throughout the length and breadth of Dominica, and as recent as this weekend, I visited Petit Savan to the end of Petit Savan, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our focus in this country has to be about rebuilding, Madam Speaker. It cannot be anything else but rebuilding this beautiful island. But for us to rebuild, Madam Speaker, we must work together. So I'm appealing to all Dominicans to get the strength like me. I'm just a sacrificial lamb in that process of rebuilding. So, Madam Speaker, I'm asking all Dominicans to come on board. Some of us might come later than others, but I'm asking today that we want more, thousands of Dominicans to join the vision and let us build our country. Madam Speaker, in my new capacity as Minister of Environment, Climate Resilience, Disaster Management, and Urban Renewal, I'm asking members of the opposition to feel free to come to me, even specifically the parliamentarians, to feel free to come to me so we can discuss the challenges in your constituency in regards to my portfolio, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you see, it's all about serving people. People, everybody might have different opinions, and people might try to go in your head or in your heart. But nobody knows your heart but God. So, Madam Speaker, I will stand resolved to achieving that vision and then embarking on the mission with the help of the Prime Minister and members of Cabinet and my constituents, Madam Speaker. So I'm asking Dominicans across the length and breadth of this island and those in the diaspora to pray for this nation. Pray for us, keep us in your prayers, and those, especially those overseas, we must understand that we cannot build Dominica without your help. So we're appealing to those Dominicans who are abroad to help us build and don't stay focused on doing, I would say, negative work on Facebook and mischief, Madam Speaker, and focus on me just as a personality. I'm just a sacrificial lamb trying to do the best for Dominica, and I'm pledging today, again, although I pledged before, that I will do my best as usual. I will pull all my talents and without fear and favor, do the best I can do for Dominica, for Roseau Central, working together with members of Cabinet and the opposition, Madam Speaker, to deliver Dominica at a better platform of development. And I will take a little line, from the opposition, Madam Speaker. In building Dominica to become the first climate resilient country, at the end of the day, Dominica will be a better place to live and a better place to enjoy life. But we have in place a cabinet and a government in place. Let us help you to achieve the same vision of building Dominica to be a better place to live, better place to enjoy life. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Presentation of papers.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table. 1, schedule of supplementary appropriation for the period July 2017 to December 2017. 2, schedule of supplementary appropriation for the period May 2017 to June 2017. 3, Social Security, Collection of Contributions, Amendment, Regulations, 2018. 4, Report of the Director of Audit of the Public Accounts for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2015. And 5, Invest Dominica Authority financial statements for the year ended June 30, 2015.
Government notices.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I will be moving the motions and taking all stages of the bills standing in my name on the other paper.
I beg to give notice that at a later stage of the proceedings, I'll be taking through all stages the bills standing in my name on the other paper.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the later stage of the proceeding, I'll be taking all the stages of the bills standing before in my name on the other people, Madam Speaker.
On official notices.
Speaker, I beg to notify that at the later stage in the proceedings, I'll be asking the question standing in my name on the order paper.
Questions?
Regarding the debt of $100 million owed to Venezuela under the Petro-Carib arrangement, which was canceled by Venezuela on November 21st, 2017, will the Honorable Prime Minister inform this Honorable House as follows? A, what is the government's explanation for accepting forgiveness of a debt which did not exist according to the Prime Minister's answer to a question on the matter posed to him in Parliament on May 27, 2015? B, which organization has been holding and accounting for the money that the debt represents? And C, what is the balance available from the loan funds at December 21st, 2017, and when will this money be passed to the government of Dominica?
Madam Speaker, it is important for me to put in context this matter. I happened, Madam Speaker, to be in Cuba, I believe in 2005, thereabout, meeting with President Fidel Castro. And President Castro shared with me an agreement between Cuba and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And, Madam Speaker, I had never seen such a progressive and fair agreement in my life. And I said to Fidel, who I will say Fidel because that's how we call him, I want to sign an agreement like this. I want Dominica to be part of it. And Fidel told me that he will speak to Chavez. A few weeks later, Madam Speaker, I got a call from the President's office in Cuba, inviting me to a meeting in Havana with President Fidel Castro and President Chavez and myself to discuss this agreement. I was flown with an airplane from Venezuela to Havana, and we discussed it. And then both Chavez and Fidel agreed to include Dominica. And I suggested, Madam Speaker, that we should extend it to the whole of CARICOM. And subsequent to that, I made contact with Comrade Prime Minister of St. Vincent. And we were discussing the original concept from Chavez, Madam Speaker, was to give us the petroleum products free of charge, and that we would use the resources to address social and economic challenges in our countries to build greater independence. And Fidel said, no, we can't get to them free, because if we get it free, they will use it indiscriminately. And the same criticism we given to the United States of America for the wanton use of petroleum products and causing damage to the environment, that will happen in the Caribbean. So Fidel came up with this mechanism, this formula, where if the price went up a particular level, the amounts we would pay up front would reduce. So we agreed on a 60-40 arrangement if the price went to $100 a barrel. And that was way before the price went up to a high figure. And so the arrangement is, Madam Speaker, is that you will receive a consignment from Venezuela, PDVSA, and you pay 60% to Venezuela and you keep 40%. But I'll come back to this, Madam Speaker, to give a proper response to your question. So we went to Venezuela, CARICOM member states, President Chavez, Fidel was there. And there were some heads within CARICOM who were reluctant to sign. And the most honorable and the most respected and senior prime minister at the time was Prime Minister P.J. Patterson. And P.J. called us to a caucus. And PJ said, look, gentlemen, I ain't leaving Venezuela until I sign this agreement. This agreement is too good for me to leave behind. That's what President and Prime Minister PJ Patterson said at the meeting. And there were about 2 or 3 countries which ended up not signing the agreement then in Venezuela. And in all fairness to Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, of blessed memory, Prime Minister Patrick Manning, he was present and he said, gentlemen, look, this agreement is good. I have no difficulty in facilitating it. And Prime Minister Patrick Manning of blessed memory, may his soul rest in peace, agreed to not to sign, but to give his tacit support to it. Because they could have raised objection from a CARICOM standpoint, as a member of CARICOM supplying petroleum products within CARICOM. So we signed the agreement. And so when the International Monetary Fund and the IMF and the World Bank raised legitimate questions then about the impact of this agreement on our national debt, Prime Minister Gonzalez and myself went to President Chavez and we said, look, while we not necessarily agree with the IMF is saying and the World Bank, but we need to pay attention to what they say, insofar as the agreement is concerned. So what happened, Madam Speaker, is that we set up a joint venture company called the Petrocaribbean. Venezuela, PDVSA owns 51% and Dominica owns 49%. And in this plant, where tens of millions of dollars were invested, the taxpayers of Dominica did not put 1 cent into it. All the monies invested on this Petrocaribbean plant were monies from Venezuela. But that notwithstanding, we got 49%. We took the concessions we gave and the land that has been leased to put our equity contribution to the agreement. And then we established a Dominica National Petroleum Company Limited, which is wholly owned by the state of Dominica. So what is happening, so in order for it not to be reflected on our national debt, is that the DNPC holds the money in trust. In trust. If you take from it, as some governments are doing, and what some governments did, was that they treated Petrocaribbean as a revenue stream, like the VAT and the import duty. We did not do that in Dominica, because we practice fiscal prudence and fiscal responsibility in Dominica. So the funds are held in trust. So the announcement by the President of Venezuela, Madam Speaker, I want to place on public record again the extraordinary benevolence of the President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela. Notwithstanding all of the challenges, Madam Speaker, in Venezuela, economic and otherwise, they continue to stand in solidarity with the people of Dominica. So what is being done now, Madam Speaker, is once he made the announcement, there is a reconciliation of invoices and bills and receipts. Because in this agreement, you have 3 different players. You have PDVSA, which is the National Petroleum Company of Venezuela, which is the supplier of the petroleum products. You have the joint venture that is owned between Venezuela and Dominica. And you have the wholly owned state company, Dominica National Petroleum Company, who holds the 40% deferred amount in trust. And this deferred amount should be paid in 25 years. So the idea of this deferred amount of money, what is allowed in the agreement, is that you can use some of these funds for national economic endeavors. And we have taken monies from that and entered into agreement with the Dominica National Development Foundation of Dominica, for example, where they got $5 million to lend to small people across Dominica. We have taken funds from this and entered into loan agreements with the Aid Bank and the Dominica this housing on board. So these entities have an agreement with the DNPC. And then the revenue from the interest payments that you get from the banks, the DNPC uses that money to run the DNPC, to pay the staff and to pay the board remuneration, Madam Speaker. And there are times that we have got the money from the interest payments to come to us. After the trough system in 2013, which affected the entire West Coast, the government of Venezuela allowed us to use about $20 million from this to build river defenses in Mao and Massac and many communities across Dominica. And also to help construct and advance to construct the road in the east. in 2013, when the trough came about, the government, the majority shareholder, which is Government of Venezuela, asked us, the DNPC, whether we would agree to the joint venture halting the transfers of funds to us to help them get back on their feet because the plant had been dramatically affected. So since 2013, they have not been transferring the 40% to the DNPC. So all of this have to be reconciled. And I can tell you, Petrocaribbean owes DNPC a substantial amount of money, a substantial tens of millions of dollars. So once this reconciliation is done, those funds will be sent from the joint venture to DNPC, and DNPC will now transfer these funds to the Treasury of Dominica to this consolidated fund to be used for national development projects to respond to the disaster and other aspects in Dominica. So this is why, Madam Speaker, this has not been reflected in the national debt. It's like you, Madam Speaker, you're a lawyer. You hold money in trust. It's not your money. That's why you call it client's money. And you can't take client's money and spend to buy a motor car. So that is what it is, Madam Speaker. So the money is held in trust. It is not your money. So the cancellation of the debt, Madam Speaker, what it does is that the 40%, so the 100 million, member for Marigot, the Leader of the Opposition, the 100 million which the Venezuelans have indicated, it is based on their full supply of petroleum products over the life of the Petrocaribbean agreement. That is the 40% deferred, because we would have paid them the 60% upfront within a specific period of time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 90 days, Madam Speaker. So this is how the Petrocaribbean agreement works in Dominica. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, and as this Petrocaribbean agreement has touched the lives of across Dominica. And I want to thank Dominic. Publicly, Madam Speaker, because through a public tender process, Petrocaribbean has won an aspect of the supply of diesel to Dominic. And in this agreement, Madam Speaker, because of the Petrocaribbean agreement, you agree to a flat rate. So even when the price goes up international market, it does not reflect an increase to Dominic in terms of its contribution. So it's a flat rate with a range. So that it has kept the fuel surcharge much lower than it would have been had it not been for the Petrocaribbean agreement. So once we reconcile between PDVSA and the joint venture and the NPC, then we'll have an understanding as to the full amount of money outstanding to the DNPC. And once that is done, whatever funds are available, and I believe that it's in the millions, those funds will be transferred. The DNPC, I believe, has 2 accounts at the National Bank. Okay? Interest-bearing account and an operating account. The operating account they use to do the day-to-day transactions, where they transfer the interest that they would have accrued in the year or the 6 months to the account, and use that to run the operations, to use that to make contributions to various entities. And from time to time, the government may need resources from Petrocaribbean for the DNPC, and the Minister of Finance authorize them to transfer the Treasury X amount of money to help respond to particular challenges confronting Dominica. So this, Madam Speaker, I felt it was necessary to give this long response, to give the background to it, and how this arrangement works, so that there's a better appreciation by the members of opposition, all of us present, and listening of how this Petrocaribbean agreement works. But really, Madam Speaker, I think what I would like is for the Parliament, Madam Speaker, to hope that the rest of the world, those whom we owe, would do like Venezuela. Because, Madam Speaker, 226% of your GDP was impacted. We have been, the millions we spent just to clean Dominica. It should be automatic that anybody who we owe, anybody who we owe in the world should write us and say, Minister of Finance, we're sorry what happened to Dominica, and you owe us $50 million. Consider it waived. The board has taken a decision, and we wish you all the best. God bless you. That is what the Parliament we're talking about, not to try to give impute improper motives about Venezuela and what the debt is, and you said, whatever I responded to in 2015 still stands as a fact. We do not have, strictly speaking, a debt insofar as the Petro-Caribbean agreement is concerned. The monies are held in a trust, and can be used for national endeavors. So this is my long response, Madam Speaker, to the question.
Madam Speaker, just for clarification, is the Prime Minister's answer to the question accepting that as of the 21st of November 2017, Dominica owed Venezuela under Petro-Carib $100 million US?
Well, you know, I am not sure what other language I can use to explain this.
It's up to you. If you don't want to ask your next question, you're free to withdraw it.
Well, I'm not sure the language you might want to use to address this one, whether I will understand it. So, because that's what you just indicated, that he used language that I didn't understand.
No, that's not what he said at all.
That's not what he said?
That's not what I heard.
What did he say?
Other language, other language.
Oh, I don't understand.
Are you going to ask your next question or not?
Madam Speaker, the question was very simple, you know. And the question was not answered. Well, we'll move on. Regarding the utilization of funds collected under the Citizenship by Investment Program, will the Honorable Prime Minister inform this Honorable House as follows? The balance on the government's CBI account at the National Bank of Dominica as of June 30th, 2017, and as at September 18th, 2017. The full amount of CBI revenues cleared into government CBI account at the National Bank of Dominica from September 18th, 2017 to January 31st, 2018, broken down by month. The complete list of expenditure from the government CBI revenues for the period September 18th, 2017 to January 31st, 2018. Indeed, the names, location, and balances of any government CBI accounts other than the one at the National Bank of Dominica.
Madam Speaker, the balance on the government CBI account at the National Bank of Dominica on June 30, 2017 was $177,660,299.54. The balance on the government CBI account at the National Bank of Dominica on September 18, 2017 was $166,452,527.18. Month by month, September 18 to 30, 2017, zero because of the hurricane. October 2017, $12,945,293.72. November 2017, $27,027,103.86. December, $16,377,205.01. January 2018, $13,576,560.54, a total of $69,917,163.13. The complete list of expenditure from the CBI accounts revenue for the period September 18, 2017 to January 31, 2018. House renovation and sanitation, $4,937,903.73. Support to horticulture sector, $328,868.80. Cocoa rehabilitation, $26,840. Rehabilitation of trails and facilities within the national parks and ecotourism sites, $57,441.81. Cabrit's Hotel, Resort and Spa, $46,617.30. Tourism sites enhancement, $885,541.19. Community tourism expansion, $546,620.63. Pilot project climate resilience, DVRP, $69,097.09. New National Hospital, $7,598.96. Solar street lighting project, $125,459.10. ICT Center of Excellence, $25,298.72. Center for Testing Excellence Infrastructure, $82,258. Cocoa Rehabilitation and Expansion, $30,734.47. Wharton Waven Copthall Road Improvement Project, $20,041.74. Emergency Infrastructural Works at Douglas Chelsea Airport, $6,920,765.94. West Bridge River Training Wall and River Dredging, $1,477,376.43. National Resettlement Program, $398,745.88. Portsmouth Fire Station, $96,840.45. Urban Renewal, Rose 1 Portsmouth Enhancement, $1,005,230.83. Rehabilitation of Charles Avenue Road, $169,340.13. Dredging of rivers, $396,749.52. Renovation of St. Joseph Inspector's Quarters as a police, $51,119.28. Emergency road works at Cabanis, $419,995.47. Construction of river wall at River Estate, $343,156.90. Secondary security fence at the prison, $363,669.64. Construction and repair of bridges, White Jubilee National Trails, $8,100. Yachting development, $107,501.97. Land settlement and development, $99,613.50. Support to NAO, $106,144. Public support program, $1,917,375.11. Small business enterprise development, $28,514.69. Amphibian captive breeding, $307. National Employment and Mentorship Program, $1,832,094.66. Rural Business Enterprise Centers, $27,610.23. Development of banana and plantain subsector, $130,974.64. National Soil Fertility Mapping Project, $468.12. Smart Rural Centers, $232,123.69. Expansion of vegetables production, $9,393. Support to fisheries sector and aquaculture, $4,750. Operationalization of National Abattoir, $212,375.82. Support to horticulture sector, $132,046.43. National Resettlement Program, $5,454,404.86. Roseau Enhancement Project Phase 2, $354,755.05. Bulk purchase of building materials post-Hurricane Maria, $5,182,543.93. Public support program, $697,955.38. Support to fisheries sector and aquaculture, $8,145.88. Roseau Enhancement Project Phase 2, $354,755.05.
Bulk purchase of building materials post-Hurricane Maria, $505,182,543.93. Public support programs, $697,955.38. Support to fishery sector aquaculture, $8,145.88. Transfer out salaries and monthly payments, November 2017, $39,629,848, which means that public servants would not have gotten paid had it not been for the CBI, Madam Speaker. Transfer out salaries and monthly payments, December 2017, thanks to the CBI, $17,688,942,000, Madam Speaker. Had it not been for the CBI, none of us in Dominica would have gotten a salary in Dominica. So we say thank God for the CBI, Madam Speaker, and thank God for those who support the CBI in Dominica. There are no other CBI government accounts other than the one at the NBD. Madam Speaker, I felt like I was in a classroom reciting something. Lines, Madam Speaker. Very much.
Mr. J.
Language was good.
Introduction, statement by ministers. Statement by ministers. Introductions of bills.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation Agreement be read the first time.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation Agreement Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill shortly entitled Rapid Response Social Recovery Agency Act 2018 be read the first time.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Rapid Response Social Recovery Agency Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Stamp Amendment Act 2018 be read the first time.
I beg to second, Madam Speaker.
Stamped Amendment Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Income Tax Amendment Act 2018 be read a first time.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Income Tax Amendment Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move the first reading of the bill shortly entitled An Act to Amend the Alien Land Holding Regulation Act 17 of 1995.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Alien Land Holding Regulation Amendment Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Title by Registration Amendment Act 2018 be read the first time.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Title by Registration Amendment Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Police Amendment Act 2018 be read the first time.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
Police Amendment Act 2018.
The bill has been read a first time.
Public business, government business, motions.
Madam Speaker, supplementary estimates of expenditure for the financial year ending 30 June 2017. Be it resolved that this Honorable House approves the supplementary estimates of expenditure for the year 2016-2017, an amount amounting to $82,851,808.96, the details of which are contained in the attached schedule. Madam Speaker, the supplementary estimates being presented to this House today for a total of $82,851,808.96 is in respect of advances made from the contingencies fund for the period May 2017 to June 2017. According to Section 81 of the Commonwealth of Dominica Constitution Order 1978, as well as Section 12 of the Finance Administration Act Number 4 of 1994, the government may incur expenditure not originally approved in the annual budget where it is deemed necessary and subsequently seek approval of the Parliament for such spending. The expenditure was funded as follows. 6% or $5,208,293 was grant funded, while 94% or $77,570,516 was met from local resources. Madam Speaker, the supplementary estimate covers a number of ministries and departments, details of which are as follows. In respect of the Office of Director of Audit, the sum of $33,132 was required to meet personal emoluments of the Deputy Director of Audit, who was appointed during the course of the fiscal year 2016-2017. Madam Speaker, in respect to the Ministry of National Security, the sum of $1,047,993 was appropriated. Of this total, $22,493 was needed to undertake the National Risk Assessment in Dominica, a project which aims to enhance the capacity within government to identify solutions in relation to Dominica's efforts to combat money laundering and terrorist financing activities. A further amount of $88,500 was approved to meet additional costs for investigative services sourced under the Regional Investigative Management System. In addition to the above, Madam Speaker, the amount of $937,000 was approved to meet the cost of personal emoluments due to the increase in staff at the Magistrate Court, Attorney General Chambers, Financial Intelligence Unit, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Madam Speaker, in respect to the Electoral Office, the sum of $286,575 was appropriated to meet expenses related to the procurement of a passenger bus and for the value-added tax payment on the equipment for the implementation of the ID card management and personalization system for the Electoral Office. Madam Speaker, the appropriation in respect to the Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment was $2,956,217. $1,062,410 was provided to finance the activities of the Dominica Geothermal Development Company Limited, a company wholly owned by the government of Dominica, established to facilitate the development of geothermal energy. An additional sum of $1,893,807 was required to facilitate the the continuation of the National Employment Program from May 2017 to June 2017. Madam Speaker, the appropriation in respect of the Office of the Prime Minister is $3,065,790 and summarized as follows. $50,000 for the purchase of furniture and equipment for the public support centers. $2,500,000 for continuation of the public support program. $15,000 to meet official funeral expenses for the late Wilmot T. Shillingford, a former member of the House of Assembly. $157,000 for the purchase of a vehicle for the use by the Special Branch Unit, and $343,790 to meet salary and contractual obligations for staff. Madam Speaker, an amount of $26 million, Madam Speaker, an amount of $26,741,414. You got it, ma'am? Oh, good. Was allocated to the Ministry of Finance. In May 2017, the government of Dominica signed a loan agreement with the Dominica Coconut Products Successors Limited to facilitate the acquisition of Colgate Palmolive and the recommencement of soap manufacturing in Dominica. In light of this, an amount of $5,443,800 was appropriated. Madam Speaker, soap manufacturing has indeed played a pivotal role in our nation through its impact on growth and employment. Hence, government considered necessary to provide some financial support towards the resumption of operations. And operations have in fact resumed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for the period January 2017 to June 2017, the cost of marketing the CBI program was $15,405,475. In addition, due diligence fees paid for that same period was approximately $902,139. Due to the nature of due diligence and marketing expenses, it is difficult to arrive at a precise estimate. However, once the actual amount is known, the relevant expenditure is captured in the mainstream accounting system. The respective budgetary provision was required to accommodate these expenses for fiscal year 2016-2017. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, in respect to the Ministry of Agriculture, an amount of $820,344 was approved to facilitate payment for the construction of the National Abattoir. The project has been successfully completed and has a capacity output of 1,000 birds per hour and 50 pigs per day. This is geared towards ensuring food security, the reduction on the food import bill, and the creation of employment within our country. It is now left to us, Dominicans, to consume what we grow and what we produce. The facility proved its usefulness after the hurricane, since we were able within 4 weeks to have fresh pork on the market for public consumption. The demand for the products continues to increase as we build more partnerships with the private sector. Madam Speaker, an additional sum of $7,286,790 was allocated to the Ministry of Education to facilitate payments of school fees and other related expenses on behalf of students studying locally and internationally, Madam Speaker. And that is in addition to what the Parliament appropriated. So it tells you of our commitment to students' education, Madam Speaker, a firm commitment which we gave. Madam Speaker, the appropriation in respect to the Ministry of Housing and Water Resource Management in the sum of $5,675,448 was for the purpose of addressing the housing and sanitation needs of various communities around the island. Madam Speaker, an appropriation in respect to the Ministry of Health and the Environment is $2,752,500 $533 as follows. $47,060 on behalf of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation to engage private truckers to assist in the collection and disposal of waste. $257,847 to purchase equipment for use at the Princess Margaret Hospital. $676,520 to meet expenses related to the relocation of major equipment and services at the Princess Margaret Hospital. $787,779 to meet the shortfall in the provision for allowances to staff at the Princess Margaret Hospital, and $983,327 to meet payment for medical supplies. Madam Speaker, an additional $4,607,279 was allocated to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. $3 million of this was for various community-based projects, while $679,380 was government's contribution to assist the West Indies Cricket Board to settle some long outstanding commitments relating to the hosting of the West Indies versus Australia home series in 2015. Madam Speaker, I wish to submit this to the House for its sincere consideration. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The motion is now before the House for debate. Go ahead. Go. Yeah, but I haven't seen him yet, so please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to make my contribution on the motion before the House.
No,
Madam Speaker, we are dealing with supplementary appropriation from May 2017 to June 2017, Madam Speaker. We are talking about $82.9 million in 2 months, Madam Speaker, just before budget. And going through the list, Madam Speaker, there are some areas I would like to raise some concerns, make some contributions as we go forward, Madam Speaker. Under national security, Madam Speaker, $88,500 was made available, as the Prime Minister said, outstanding invoices for accommodation for 4 investigative officers under the Regional Investigative Management System. Madam Speaker, I'm happy that is the first item on the agenda. Security is important to all of us. We want to ensure that each and every one of us, we are safe. And the police, Madam Speaker, has a very important role to play in that. Also the Ministry of National Security. Madam Speaker, the explanation takes me back to 2017, February 6th, Madam Speaker. 17, February 6th, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, where the opposition party, Madam Speaker, was having an activity, and we were accused of a coup attempt using a truck and a sound system. Madam Speaker, the new minister on the government side, 19 ministers now, the new minister was one of them, Madam Speaker, was arrested. And they said, Madam Speaker, that new minister was crying about the injustice, security, law, Madam Speaker. And that, Madam Speaker, money to bring people down to investigate. We want to know, where is the report of that investigation? of the attempted coup attempt by a truck and a song system, Madam Speaker.
Can you just explain to me where we are on this?
Madam
because
Speaker,
I
we are
haven't
under
seen
national
it.
security.
Yes.
Yes, we are under national security, Madam Speaker.
And what
that
are you
is
saying
why-
about?
And I'm saying, Madam Speaker, and I will repeat, that is why we had the regional investigative management system in Dominica, Madam Speaker, doing an investigation on that, Madam Speaker. And that is what I'm saying, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, on a point of
And
order.
we're asking for the...
The member rises on a point of order.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. The matter there is specific to financial investigation, money laundering. And the assessment was done to combat money laundering. I'm not sure what is the connection between an investigation of a criminal nature, which is still on we're still on.
Okay,
before the court.
I'll take that up.
So I think the members should stick to the fundamental issue before this honorable house.
Just one moment. I will deal with that. I'm just coming to him to ask him what is the connection between what he's saying and what I see there. Can you make the connection for me before you continue with your contribution?
Madam Speaker, the connection is with the investigation after the 2017 activity that the United Workers' Party had on the February 6th.
Yeah, but I feel, listen, I'm asking you, make the connection between an amount, okay? An amount that is there, national security, and what you're talking about.
Madam Speaker, I said an amount was given, and we're asking about the report. And we know it was tied with that as well, Madam Speaker. That was...
I'm baffled.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
I'm totally baffled.
Can I be very clear, Madam Speaker?
Yes.
I've been very clear about it, Madam Speaker. I said money was spent for the investigation.
For what investigation?
Madam Speaker, to settle outstanding invoices to accommodate of 4 investigative officers, Madam Speaker. You read the rest, Madam Speaker. Under the regional investigative management system.
Yes.
Madam Speaker. Yes, Madam Speaker. So where are you taking me now? I'm just asking a question. You asked, I raised a point where an investigation was done, and I'm asking, I tied to national security, and
you do
where is the report on
understand
that?
this,
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yes, so okay.
Madam Speaker, if you don't, can I go on, Madam Speaker?
I am still haven't understood your connection between what you're talking about.
Yes. It's money spent, Madam Speaker, on investigation, Madam
Yes.
Speaker. Right.
So money was spent on an investigation,
Yes,
and what is your problem with that money now? I fail to understand.
You don't want to understand, Madam Speaker. Can I go on, Madam Speaker?
Go on, but what you're talking about is not anything to do with this, so please change your topic to be more relevant.
Madam Speaker, I made mention of national security.
Yes.
And I'm going to repeat, Madam Speaker, not on this, I move on, touch national security as well. Of the importance of everybody being protected. Of the importance, Madam Speaker, of ensuring that we know where the money was spent and what was done with that money, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the people of Salisbury right now, as I speak of national security, the people of Colibi Street, Madam Speaker, are under pressure right now, Madam Speaker, because of the stance they're taking and they're expressing their concerns. Madam Speaker, this is a concern that we have into national security. Madam Speaker, under electoral reform, more money is being spent. Madam Speaker, I'm going down to electoral reform right now, Madam Speaker. And money was spent on the elections, and we welcome that. What we'd like to see, Madam Speaker, is a faster pace in ensuring that we have electoral reform. Madam Speaker, in 2017, Madam Speaker, that money was spent. We have a population, Madam Speaker, of about, right now after Maria, about 66 to 70,000 people. But yet still, we have a population, a voting population of over 70,000 people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that is the information we have, Madam Speaker. After the last general elections, we had over 3,000 people more in terms on the registration of voters than the population. That's a fact, Madam Speaker. What we are saying, let's ensure that we clean that list, purge the list, and ensure that the people who are on that list are eligible to vote. We do not want to disenfranchise any Dominican, no matter if you red, green, yellow, pink. We want to ensure that it's done properly, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, next item, Madam Speaker, to fund $1 million was spent to fund the activity of the geothermal, Madam Speaker, development company. Where are we on that? The Minister of responsible for geothermal, where are we in terms of energy? Do you have anything? How far are we in terms of realizing to have energy and we move forward, Madam Speaker? That is what we like to see. Look at, we are talking about energy. We are talking about utilizing our natural resources. A lot of money was spent, Madam Speaker, on the geothermal plant, Madam Speaker. But where are we, Madam Speaker? And that is the kind of, that is what we like to see. Our money spent, but we want it to be well spent, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we move forward, we have under the Prime Minister's office. And that area, Madam Speaker, public support program, $2.5 million in 2 months. Madam Speaker, that is a serious, serious concern. And a lot of us do not want to look at it as a serious concern. It is. It is telling us, Madam Speaker, that our level of unemployment on the young persons is increasing. And Madam Speaker, for us to spend all that money, Madam Speaker, in jobs that are not permanent, Madam Speaker, public support program, Madam Speaker, for everybody, young people. You have the NEPS. I'm talking about public support program. People coming to the rec clinic to get money, Madam Speaker. That is where we are, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and these are the concerns that we have. We want this money to go for the correct channel. The correct channel is the public channel, Madam Speaker, is the welfare division. The welfare division have officers to go out there and ensure they do their cases, they case study, see who need the support, and give the appropriate support to them. We're not against that. We're not against the elders getting support, the young getting support, the vulnerable getting support, but we'd like to see them get the support in a proper and transparent manner. That is what we're asking for, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and we spend all that money, Madam Speaker, in 2 months. $2.5 million in 2 months, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that is huge, Madam Speaker, for us to spend all that money on the public support program. I say, and that's where we have a problem. The Prime Minister made a very important point that we provided support for the acquisition of Colgate-Palmolive. I am not against any company or institution or avenue that can create employment opportunities for people and sustainable employment opportunity for people, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, after that was done before Hurricane Maria, we would like to get an update where we are in terms of that purchase. Our coconut industry, that was assisting that program, that would assist the, DCP in terms of production. Where are we in terms of a coconut rehabilitation program? We are 7 months after Maria and we have not heard anything to get production of coconuts
Excuse
up
me,
and
the member,
that way. Yes, Madam
can
Speaker.
you keep to the,
yes, Madam Speaker, I am
the game
speaking
plan?
about, Madam Speaker, where am I? I'm speaking about the acquisition
Yes,
of
and you've gone on
Colgate-Palmolive.
rehabilitation of
Yes.
cocoa.
I never said, I said coconuts, Madam Speaker, I spoke about. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And as I said, sustainable jobs for young, for Dominicans, especially in the Maho area. We know a lot of them worked at DCP and would like to see DCP back on stream. So I'm in support of the acquisition, but I would like to see there's a plan, program, or support program to ensure that it move forward in the sustainable manner, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, abattoir, abattoir. Madam Speaker, I move to the next item on agriculture. I move to the next item, Madam Speaker. And the next item is agriculture. Under agriculture, Madam Speaker, to facilitate payment of first disbursement into the contract between the government of Dominica and the organization Desasio, and Madam Speaker, and that is about $800,000, Madam Speaker, and it has to do for the construction of the abattoir. That was last year, Madam Speaker. I'm still trying to find out if our abattoir is still under construction. Have we opened the abattoir? Have we officially opened the abattoir? You heard the former Minister of Agriculture said maybe on several occasions
The member,
that they're going. I hope
excuse me, the member.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
I don't know if you are attending the same thing that I had. My ears was open. I heard the Prime Minister say that the abattoir was functioning how many days after the thing closed?
Madam Speaker, I am asking, there is money paid for, was disbursed. Madam Speaker, have a nice afternoon, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the education, the Prime Minister made reference to monies paid for the payment for our students studying overseas, pursuing tertiary university education, and I welcome that, I commend that. Empowering our young persons is important, but we want to ensure that it's done in a timely manner. We don't want our students thinking of the exam and have to be worrying about their tuition being paid. And I just want us to ensure that we are on time in terms of payments for our students who are pursuing education abroad. Madam Speaker, on the housing, the Ministry of Housing, funds were made available with $3.2 million, Madam Speaker, for house renovation and sanitation program. Madam Speaker, it was not said where, a few various communities, but Madam Speaker, we have been talking about building back better, climate resilience, and ensuring that those who are vulnerable get the support that they need. It's important, Madam Speaker, and we would like the support to Dominicans, by large, to be in a timely, positive, non-partisan manner. And Madam Speaker, we are seeing it happening. I'm going to tell you of an experience I had recently, Madam Speaker, as the Member of Parliament for Salisbury. I was told that names will be, people were receiving support for housing in my constituency. And as a Member of Parliament, I knew nothing, no correspondence was sent to me on about what was going on. As a Member of Parliament, I went to the ministry. I had a discussion with the PS, Madam Speaker, on the procedure, the processes, in terms of giving people support. It was nothing about personalities, but how it was being done. Madam Speaker, and I was told, but I was expecting as a Member of Parliament, not Hector John, but the office of the Parliamentary representative for the Salisbury Coalition Monmouth. And nothing, the whole of the office. And Madam Speaker, you know, it was never said, nothing was sent to me. I had to write. I was told that I have to write. While government caretaker has a copy, I had to write and ask for it. Madam Speaker, on the other hand, the Office of International Migration, a representative called me and asked me for my email address for him to submit the list of people in my area who are going to benefit from that. Madam Speaker, you're talking about an international agency, you know, for respecting the parliamentary representative, making the list available to me. And for me to get a list of people from my community, constituency, I have to write to ask for it, Madam Speaker. I just want the Dominican population to understand what is going on. When I, as PAR rep, I brought to the office, maybe the same day that the Prime Minister became the Minister of Housing, a list of names from my constituency that we think a few of us came together and we sat down and we took that and did names. No discrimination. And we dropped it in, Madam Speaker. I am sure maybe reach on your desk, former minister or the Prime Minister has it. But I sent it in genuinely after I had a conversation with the minister, the PS in housing. I dropped it in, Madam Speaker. I'm just saying that we should do it properly. When they say we are not trying to meet anybody.
Just one moment, please. Just one moment, please.
Madam Speaker.
Just one moment, please.
Yes.
This supplementary appropriations is from May to June of 2017.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Are you talking about the list that you just made during
yes,
that period?
I just in terms of doing things better. Okay, Madam Speaker. Not last
I'm
week.
asking, I need to follow you, sir. So can you tell me?
Yeah, yes. Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I was just saying that, seeing that we in the post barrier, we spent all that money, and I'm just saying about building back better and ensure that people get the support the proper way. I am just making it clear, Madam Speaker, what transpired. Even though it happened recently or 2 or 3 years ago, I'm just saying that is right now we're dealing with, Madam Speaker. We are dealing with something that happened in 2017.
Yes.
But I am just making reference to something that are going on right now that we do not do it, make the error down the road, Madam Speaker. Let us do it in a proper manner. That's what I was bringing. That's what I brought it in, Madam Speaker, just to make a point. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and as I move forward, I just want to make one point again on this area, Madam Speaker, that is very important to all of us. We have a lot of people who are under serious burdens after their houses got, even in 2015 and 2017. And we are seeing something that is happening in terms of building materials. And I am sure that people on the government side have seen it in terms of the prices. I give one example. 3F Grove plywood was $90 before the storm. Now it's $150. And I also just want to give that example. Let that sink in to see what people are going through who have to rebuild their houses. They do not want sheetrock and they want to use swing. And I just want us to understand that. Madam Speaker, in terms of under health, contribution to solid waste management, Madam Speaker, I must say, for the past couple of months, they have been tidying up and being more regular. We welcome that. But a concern that I have, and I think it's across the island in terms of picking up of white goods. We have a challenge with solid waste in picking up white goods, and white goods all over the place. After Maria, after Erica, you have a lot of white goods around the place, and people have their old fridges and stoves and everything. They remove from their houses and throw it outside. And some do not have the means to take it to the landfill. And even trying to work to organize picking up of white goods, we're having some challenges. So I just want us to be mindful of that and how we can deal with it. I have made some recommendations to solid waste and see how we can work together. We always try to do our best in Salisbury to get some of those things out. One of the challenges we have, though, and it's a serious challenge, in 2000 and last year, when we met with the Prime Minister Danny and I about the old Galvin streets we have around the place, I saw some of us in Point Round, but in Salisbury, I'm happy they cleaned it up in Maho, just by DCP area. I'm very happy that they did that. But in Salisbury, it's a serious problem. I have spoken to officials in the different departments, and we have not seen it removed on the Salisbury beach. And the concern that we have is unsightly. You want to improve your tourism product. Madam Speaker, also, leptospirosis is a serious problem. Like it or not, it's a serious problem, and we need to address it, Madam Speaker. We need to ensure that we clean up our area, clean up around our villages. Madam Speaker, on our beaches where people go to recreate on a daily basis, we cannot have gardener sheets there, Madam Speaker. And we need it out of the Salisbury Beach like yesterday. I have spoken to every department who concerned about it. I try to follow protocol and go to them and speak with them about it. We need it out of the Salisbury Beach ASAP, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, moving forward, yes, Madam Speaker, on the youth, sports and culture, the money paid to West Indies Board, Madam Speaker, I'm in support of it. I'm in support of sports in general for young people to recreate and do something positive. Let me take the opportunity to congratulate Alec Atanas and Fia Lafont and the gentleman, Gracia, I think, who won silver at the Commonwealth Games. It shows that we have talent, but our sporting facilities needs to be improved. Facilities need to be improved and even do some of those we in some areas we not have, but build them. I think I made mention of the Salisbury Beach where we have the Galvanized right now is on the Salisbury basketball court. So that's where the young men go to recreate, but we have a problem with it right there. And I look at the Windsor Park as well, needs some maintenance and whatnot. And just look around Dominica, you see some of the sporting facilities. The young men and women, they're out there, they would like to recreate, they would like to compete in sporting activities, but they need them, the facilities to be thing. Madam Speaker, and we want them to be on the straight and narrow. So create those avenues for them. Just yesterday, we had over the weekend, we had elections of the National Youth Council. And I would like to congratulate the winners. I know myself and Mr. Honorable Senator Regis, we were the founding members of when they revived the National Youth Council in 1996. And we played a vital role. It was nothing about politics. It was about developing young people, creating avenues for them. And we would like to see the National Youth Council move in that direction. And we would like to see the support structure around them continue to move in the right direction, Madam Speaker. And that's what we are on this side of the House, Madam Speaker. We give support to what is good. And we encourage it to improve them. And that's what I'd like to see, Minister Austria. I'd like to see you smiling. That means things going good if you... You know, Madam Speaker, constituency empowerment. Madam Speaker, still under youth, sports, agriculture, constituency empowerment, 3 million, an amount required for implementation of community-based projects, Madam Speaker. And we would like to see these projects be implemented and successful. Some of these projects. And Madam Speaker, I have projects that I wrote since in 2012. And they have not been, I have sent them in, I've brought them in. And Madam Speaker, and nothing has been done. I just want us to realize that we have other, even on this side of the House, all of us on the elected members, the Roseau South, Roseau North, Marigot, we would like to be engaged more. As members of Parliament, as elected members, we have been sidetracked. Most of the time we have been sidetracked. And Madam Speaker, and that is, we want to make our contribution. We should be able to make our contribution. Our letters, when we write to the different ministries, we should be able to see the project that we like in our community go forward, move forward. If we did not want that, we would not try to meet with some of the ministers, Madam Speaker. I've met with several ministers. I've asked them to meet with others. Honorable Austria, we had to meet one time, but we have never met. I tried to meet with you. Honorable, the former Minister of Agriculture as well, we made contact. I met with the new Minister of Public Works just last week because I would like to see the projects in my constituency move forward. And I met with the Lady Daniel, Minister Daniel, recently as well. We'd like to see the movement of a village council in Salisbury. We spoke about it and we're looking at having a meeting this month about it. And that is what I do as a member of Parliament. I had several interactions with the former Minister of Public Works on different issues, Madam Speaker. And it's not like you hear the notion out there is like the members on the opposition side don't want to engage and have conversations about the constituency. That is not true, Madam Speaker. That is not true, Madam Speaker. Sometimes I don't have to call the minister, I follow protocol, I might call the PS or somebody else in the ministry and have a discussion with them. And I see that I even try to, the minister for the communication, which I met him first to try to speak. Just one-on-one, he was passing, I tell him, let's try to speak on the Salisbury Farm Road. Because everybody from his constituency, the only access to car home now is through Salisbury. The same farm road that we fought for. The same farm road being sponsored by the EU under BAM. And we are not getting value for money. The only reason why our farmers go into that road is because, traveling on that farm road is because it is better than what we had. But, Madam Speaker, if BAM, we're getting money from an international agency, we have contractors doing the work for road for us, government officials or engineers should ensure that they meet the specifications and ensure that we get value for money. That is what we're asking for. And now, to access Pidit Makushi, the Prime Minister did mention about he had monies for access for Cuba Road. The Cuba Road is a no-no for now. I believe that money should be diverted to the farm road to ensure that we have completion of that road. I'm hearing that it stopped because of lack of funds or they have not gotten paid from the government. I think somebody will give us some clarification on it. It shows that we would like to engage, Madam Speaker. Even Monorachet, the farm access road to Monorachet, 15, Madam Speaker, $1,000 was given for that road. The Cuba Road, Madam, the Gorman Road, up to now farmers could access their farms. And that call on the community projects, Madam Speaker, I would like to see get enhanced and done and brought to completion, and the people of my constituency, Solve the Kulibistri and Monorachet, can ensure that there are community projects in Kulibistri. Mr. Osri, you were born in Kulibistri. You know what Kulibistri was before. What is Kulibistri now? When last have you passed and drive up to Kulibistri? Madam Speaker, I'm asking for you. Community project in Kulibistri. I just want us to, as citizens of Dominica, have a human heart. Any one of you driving down, just pass into Kulibistri and see what is going on in Kulibistri. None of us in this house, in this honorable house, would like to be living in that condition in Kulibistri. It's raining. If it's just drizzle, you have to think of running, Madam Speaker. None of you in this house, Madam Speaker, of us in that house. This house, Madam Speaker, I continue to advocate on their behalf, and I'll do that. And I'm doing that right now, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we would like to see the people of my constituency get a fair share of the community projects, constituency empowerment projects that we would like to see enhancing of our constituency and moving forward. Madam Speaker, under the Ministry of Commerce and Enterprise.
You have 4 minutes left, eh?
Okay, Madam Speaker, I will do. $5.4 million spent in 2 months. Small business. Madam Speaker, that money was given. No registration of companies, no bank account, no social security number that was being asked for recently by the World Bank to give small business some $3 million. Madam Speaker, I know of businesses, small business people who've got resources and they had to just attend a meeting or something and they didn't register the business, but they got the funding. No, after the storm, we should get that $3 million to assist them to bounce back, reinvest in them, and ensure that they move. Instead, we say we're diverting that money. Madam Speaker, I just want us to be understanding how do we expect our small businesses to thrive. There was a good labor friend of mine that told me recently in Tongue, it's fags, it's just big shops we have around Roseau. After the hurricane, he said you would like to see something more substantial, more serious small businesses being open and young people being empowered and around Dominica, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and that is what we'd like to see, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me just say quickly about, I mentioned about our roads, money being spent, our village roads, Madam Speaker, I'm hearing that money made available for our roads. We welcome it, Madam Speaker, but we, in the constituency, would like to see it be done as soon as possible. We have been very patient because the Salisbury Road was, the Wasco was doing some work before Maria, and so they had to leave it and go elsewhere to help people get water, and we understood that. And we waited and waited, and Madam Speaker, and right now, it is really serious. Several people have sprained their legs in the road because every 10 feet you have a dredge. In the lower part of Salisbury. So it's serious. Some of us might take it for a joke. It's serious. People wear and tear on the vehicles. I would like to see that addressed, Madam Speaker, in that area. But also on the West Coast, We have a serious challenge. We are now in the hurricane season, and we do not know what is going to happen. But the crossings from Battley, we see Battley sinking on one end, the northern end, the Battley and Bailey Bridge, and also the crossings at Makushri. We have to pay attention to them because the conduit between the north and south is not a joke. We need to ensure that these crossings are given full attention, even the one in Point Round as well. And we would like to see our people move from north to south safely on these crossings. So, Madam Speaker, with these few words, I would just like to, is my contribution to the motion before the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to give my full and unwavering support to the bill which is now before this Honorable House. And as I do so, Madam Speaker, I wish to extend sincere sympathies to the family and friends of Mr. Hendrick James of the community of Silver Lake, who lost his mom recently. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and likewise, the families of 7 residents from the village of Lubia and 1 resident from Kings Hill who passed away or are still missing since the passage of Hurricane Maria. We sympathize with you. We feel your pain. So, Madam Speaker, we must learn to cherish life that God has given us as a blessing and spend each day of it in a way that is pleasing to Him. Madam Speaker, as I rise to give my support to this bill, I wish to point out firstly that leadership is everything, Madam Speaker. And I must say, 8 months after the passage of Hurricane Maria, the leadership of the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance has been phenomenal and impactful, Madam Speaker, at a global scale. Because in the face of Hurricane Maria, which triggered a loss of our essential services, a loss and total destruction of our road network, decimated our housing stock, and destroyed livelihoods, the vision of our Prime Minister remained clear, and he made the wise choice of setting the objective of working to become the first climate-resilient country in the world, Madam Speaker. So this is a leader who will not cower in the face of a challenge, but will rise to the occasion and take us through and forward, Madam Speaker, towards our destiny as a nation. And also to say to you, Madam Speaker, that today my contribution will focus firstly on commending the work of the PM and his cabinet for their leadership. Leadership that we can trust, Mr. Speaker. Leadership that we can trust. And secondly, to call on the youth of this country to recognize that in this national response, we have a great role to play in this process of nation building and achieving the goal of being the first climate resilient nation. And thirdly, Madam Speaker, or Mr. Speaker rather, I will highlight the significant impact that the financial resources outlined in this bill continue to have on the lives and livelihoods of residents in the Roseau South constituency. So first things first, Mr. Speaker, I am not an economist, but anybody with reasonable understanding can appreciate that if you're the Minister of Finance in a small island developing state, where over 200% of your GDP was lost, where numerous ongoing capital projects were impacted, and where no economic activity is taking place for an extended period of time, that person would be under some great pressure, Mr. Speaker. But thanks to over a decade of fiscal prudence under the leadership of our Prime Minister, he has exceeded, and we as a nation have exceeded all expectations in the passage, following the passage of Hurricane Maria, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in response to Maria, strategic focus has been placed on economic opportunities for Dominicans, securing livelihoods of our farmers and fishermen. This government has managed to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that it has kept all of its financial obligations that we had before Maria. And so we want to commend our leader as Minister of Finance and his cabinet for being so responsible in their leadership. It is leadership that we can trust and leadership that we must support. And that is why I give my full support to this bill before this House, Mr. Speaker. It's important to note, Mr. Speaker, as I pointed out earlier, that the youth have a role in our response and in making sure that we continue to develop as a nation and achieve the goal of being the first climate resilient nation. And I don't want for our young people to get the impression that they don't have an active role to play. That is all just for the members of cabinet. And we should not trivialize the youth and simply make mention to the National Youth Council General Assembly without even knowing and being aware as to who was elected. But permit me to digress just to give commendations to...
Honorable Senator, I'm going to direct you to the motion before the House.
I am speaking in that context, Mr. Speaker.
But let's not go too far away from what we have before us. Okay, so let's try to remain within the...
yes, Mr. Speaker, it is well within, because the youth are fundamental to the sustainable development of this country. And they must not be given the impression that the resources we are speaking about, simply spending them will empower them. They have a part to play in learning about climate resilience, in understanding what climate change is, and empowering themselves to make a contribution to the process of nation building. And I have to make that point, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, most of all, I support this bill because the financial resources outlined in this bill are touching and continue to touch the lives and livelihoods of people within the Roseau South constituency. Mr. Speaker, the resources allocated to the Ministry of Employment have ensured that over 100 young people and senior individuals engaged within the Roseau South constituency continue to have a livelihood and a source of income following the passage of Maria. And for years, we have heard comments from the opposition and elsewhere that this National Employment Program is a short-term objective, is a short-term strategy. But not even Maria could wash away the NEP, Mr. Speaker. And it is still there providing livelihoods for people in the Roseau South. And just these past 2 months, we have seen over 50 new individuals engaged from the Roseau South constituency under the National Employment Program. And I want to thank the Minister of Finance for taking that decision, and also the Minister of Employment for his support in that regard, so that we can have additional individuals to clean up our communities, such as communities like Warlocks, to also have individuals to establish nurseries, so that we can have more plans to beautify our environment as we clean up and recover from Maria, and that we can provide employment and engagement for individuals at small businesses trying to respond after Maria, Mr. Speaker. And I think it is irresponsible and misleading for the member and Pal Rep for Salisbury to give the impression that resources allocated to the public support program is in any way preventing people from getting employment opportunities. Far less our youth, Mr. Speaker. If there is any wastage in the government system, I think there is wastage in paying for offices for opposition parliamentary representatives, Mr. Speaker, because they are not availing themselves to be there to look after the needs of their people. And I would want to see the public support program continue. And I commend the Prime Minister for allocating the sum of $2.5 million to continue the public support program. It continues to touch the lives of citizens in the Roseau South. And I am aware of several personal instances where the NEP, not the NEP, but the public support program has come in as a lifesaver when you have, speaking of medical emergencies and people in acute financial situations. Mr. Speaker, I support this bill for the allocation towards the sanitation program. And it's interesting to note that following the passage of Hurricane Maria, some Dominicans are still with us today because they used that washroom as a safe house during the hurricane. And I really want to thank the Prime Minister for his brilliance in implementing the sanitation program, because it saved lives. It not only improved lives, but during Maria, it saved lives, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I commend the Prime Minister for allocating the resources necessary to clean this country, a vast amount of resources. And so far, we have done a great job in restoring the Nature Isle to what we once knew before Maria. But the work is not complete. And I want to say to the people of the Roseau South that over $100,000 have been approved by the Ministry of Public Works to continue the process of cleanup in Kings Hill, Newtown, Castle Comfort, and in fact, every community within the Roseau South. And we will not stop until we get the job done. Mr. Speaker, I support this bill for the allocations made towards the establishment of Bailey bridges. Mr. Speaker, after Maria, many of our bridges were impacted, some of them were washed away. And just within the Roseau South constituency, we have the construction of 2 Bailey bridges, one in Castle Comfort and one in Fobawa. And the residents of these communities are very grateful for that. We're also grateful for the restoration works that were done on the Lubia Bridge in Lubia proper. We know that there was a lot of concern in terms of the plates that were there shifting and so on, but now the bridge has been restored and there is 2-lane traffic on the bridge in Lubia, and the residents there are very thankful. But I want to also inform the community that this is a short to mid-term measure and that an entirely new bridge will be constructed at a later stage. Mr. Speaker, on the point of dredging of rivers, approaching another hurricane season, it's important that we clear the waterways of any excess sedimentation so as to reduce the impact in the event of any storm surges or hurricanes or such events, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Minister of Finance for continuing the process of dredging that has taken so much criticism from the opposition. They see it as a waste of money. We see it as protecting lives, Mr. Speaker. It's a good investment to continue the dredging process. And there's a lot of work taking place now, particularly within Roseau South in areas like Fobawa. And we're not only dredging, we're restoring access to the homes. So in Fobawa, we have a lot of work taking place presently to restore access to over 20 homes in that community. We're talking about people that couldn't access their home after Maria and sometimes have to sleep in their vehicle and watch their home in the distance. But thanks to the work that this government is doing, they can now make their way to their homes on their own motor vehicles, and it's much easier for them to come back to a state of normalcy following the parties of Maria. Mr. Speaker, the all-important issue of housing. Roseau South is the second largest constituency in this country. Our housing stock was significantly impacted, and I dare say that it has been a mammoth task just trying to quantify the extent of the damage. But I'm very encouraged by the fact that our Minister of Finance has already approved the sum of $1.5 million to treat with the needs of the people of the Roseau South with respect to housing. And that assistance is underway. And to say further that he has the intention of approving another further $1.5 million during the course of this week. So in addition to the housing allocations that are in this supplementary estimate, there is more on the way for the people of the Roseau South, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to say to everybody in Roseau South and in this honorable house that in the Prime Minister we have leadership we can trust. Let us not take it for granted. Let us give the idea of becoming the first climate resilient country in the world our full support and our energy on the ground. We don't have to be members of Parliament to make a difference. We can all lead from where we are. And so, Mr. Speaker, with these short words, I want to give my full and unwavering support to this bill and want to see its programs implemented throughout the country. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I rise here to offer my contribution on the unforeseen expenses incurred May, June 2017. This is, Madam Speaker, a reasonably large amount with respect to the time in question. And if this is added to the other supplementary appropriation reports for the year in question, we are seeing that $235 million was expensed in supplementary appropriation for that entire year. This, in my view, Mr. Speaker, points to poor planning, lack of foresight. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it's not showing very well on the public servants when this happens, because the public servants are the ones who are actively involved in the preparation of these budgets. And it is painting a gloomy picture of the public servants as being incompetent when this thing happened. And I know that's not the case, Madam Speaker. I think it is a situation where persons are seeking, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, where persons are seeking to an extent to, at the time of budget, remove some of the items that needs to be in the budget for discuss and seek to slip it in later, Mr. Speaker. And I'm very concerned about that because that is not uttering well for the public servants. Mr. Speaker, when I look at this supplementary estimate, it points to an area of concern and points to wastage. Okay, how could this money be better used for the growth and the development of the Commonwealth of Dominica? And I refer, Mr. Speaker, to a matter which I noticed raised some issues earlier, which is $88,500. Mr. Speaker, in a DNO report dated the 24th of February 2017, because the description of that says, to settle outstanding invoices for accommodation for 4 investigative officers under the Regional Investigative Management System. A DNO report, Mr. Speaker, dated the 24th of February, stated that 4 CARICOM specialists to investigate Roseau disturbance from Regional Investigative Management System. That is the most that we have in front of us, Mr. Speaker. Okay? So there's nothing else in the public domain indicating what this money could be spent for in relation to this item, Mr. Speaker. And as a result, I think it is reasonable to bring it up again because, see, and I'm talking wastage here. One person got up one morning, Mr. Speaker, and said that the United Workers' Party attempted a coup. That's what happened. One person, Mr. Speaker. Okay? They indicated that the coup, the truck came from Western, the sound system came from Western. Mr. Speaker, I am speaking...
Honorable Basil.
Yes.
Earlier on, your colleague attempted to speak to that matter.
Sorry. Yes.
And, you know, it was clear that the funds that were being allocated was for something totally different. I would rather that you do not continue with this part of the discourse and that we move to really discuss the items that are on the appropriation bill.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I understand what you say, Mr. Speaker, but the member was right. Because, Mr. Speaker, this information
I'm not sure that you... no, but it is not outlined there. It is not outlined there. So let us please move on, you know, the best that you can do.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on, Mr. Speaker, but I really needed to highlight this fact, Mr. Speaker, because when, based on what is the description as here,
allowed you to get into it, but it is time to move on. Order, please. Order. Let us listen to the member.
Mr. Speaker, what? Mr. Speaker, you're listening to the honorable member who said that the opposition tried to burn down Roseau. Mr. Speaker, this report which came out, Mr. Speaker, should be made public and the culprits should be jailed. Is it that the culprits are operators of the Labour Party? That's why it's not coming out? Mr. Speaker, I'm taking away and I'm staying away from it. But when statements like that are made, Mr. Speaker,
no. I want you to take this back. You are imputing improper motives to suggest that the culprits may have been members of the...
I take this back, Mr. Speaker. I take this back. I take this back. I didn't say it was there. I said they may have been, but I still take it back, Mr. Speaker. Okay? Mr. Speaker, $1 million for staffing the offices of the courts, the AC's office, the DPP and others alike. Yet still, Mr. Speaker, 1 year after, we have not seen an improvement in the judicial services provided to the citizens of this country. And I have no problem, Mr. Speaker, in the money is being spent because it is a need for us to boost the judiciary in this country and to improve on the services that is being provided. So I have no problem with it. What I have the concern about, Mr. Speaker, is having spent the money, we're not seeing the difference. As a matter of fact, having spent that money for the very first time in my life, I've heard that lawyers are protesting. Okay? So obviously, Mr. Speaker, when we look at what has been spent, with respect to the relationship on the ground, Mr. Speaker, it is not adding up. And this is the point I try to make. And Mr. Speaker, if we seek to understand effectively what is happening, and we are not here just to criticize. When $1 million is spent, Mr. Speaker, I would love to see better service. I would love to see value for money. I would love to see the lives of Dominicans improve. I would love to see that the system be better, Mr. Speaker. And if it is not, I think that the members and the government side should take it in good spirit and say, fine, is it true? And if it is true, what can we do to improve it? And I see nothing wrong with that. On agriculture, Mr. Speaker, I'm of the feel that we're punishing the farmers in this country. 2015, 2016, 6% of the entire budget was allocated to agriculture. The following year, Mr. Speaker, it was reduced to 5%. After Erica, Madam Speaker, in this supplementary, we are noticing that although all of the spending went on, only 1% was allowed for agriculture, and it went towards the abattoir. Okay? That went towards the abattoir. Mr. Speaker, we must pay some attention to agriculture if we are to improve on the lives of the farmers in this country. It stated it was a final disbursement. We are taking this to mean that the abattoir should be up and running, fully completed, and according to the then minister, 1,000 birds an hour, 50 pigs a day, which means by now or very soon, we should be about 120 birds a month, 1,000 birds a month, and 1,000 pigs every month. This is what it should be realizing from there. Mr. Speaker, we need to know what's the production record for the facility to date, because it may not be at 120,000, but they must say something. Let us know what is the production like, because the more the production, the greater the possibility of the lives of the livestock farmers in this country will improve. Yeah. How many young persons, Mr. Speaker, are employed at that facility? And what is the impact on our import bills for meat to our market? What is the impact, Mr. Speaker? Because we need to have this kind of information if we are having it. And if any member on the government side feel that these are unfair questions, I would like to have them respond to it. If it is fair questions, then they should give the answers, because this is speaking to the difference of the lives of the farmers in the Commonwealth of Dominica, which is what my concern is. We were informed, Mr. Speaker, that BAM was sponsoring a marketing plan for the abattoir. Pretty good idea. Pretty good idea. But what we are seeing now, is that part of the plan? Or can the plan be tabled? And can the facility use the plan more effectively to improve on its production and to ensure that the lives of the farmers in this country are better? Because I believe that if out of the BAM project a marketing plan was available, then that marketing plan should be used. So, and if it needs to be upgraded and updated, let us do so, so that the abattoir, because the abattoir is something, Mr. Speaker, that I have been on record saying that I support. We support the abattoir because I personally believe that this abattoir would make a difference in the lives of the livestock farmers. However, we must engage the farmers, and we must engage the livestock farmers and ensure that we have extension officers and sufficient veterinary services. Okay, Mr. Speaker, so that we can go to 120,000 birds a month and 1,000 pigs a month, which will be maximum capacity of that abattoir according to the government. And, Mr. Speaker, people may not agree, but these are genuine concerns. These are genuine concerns, Mr. Speaker. And we're looking forward, Mr. Speaker, to the day when, because if there's a lack of capacity in this area. In the Wesley Woodford Hill area, there are livestock farmers who are willing to move into livestock if they receive this support from the government and provide the required amount of birds for the abattoir. Okay? Mr. Minister, you don't want me to talk about how you disrespect me when I send letters to you, so please don't do that now. Okay? Mr. Speaker, the state has a duty to employ young persons. And I do not have any issue with the state engaging in employment. However, Mr. Speaker, when we notice an increase in those lines of expenditures, we expect that the young people should be better off. There's been an escalation in the amounts of payoff towards the NEP. That's okay, Madam Mr. Speaker. But the concern is the sustainability, Mr. Speaker, with respect to this program. The NEP workers, Mr. Speaker, almost have their job as a carrot dangling. If you do, you stay. If you don't, you move. Because there's no guarantee for them. And these young people need a guarantee. They're like every one of us who wants to go to the bank. Okay? They're like every one of us, Mr. Speaker, who needs to engage with credit facilities, needs to engage with courts. But the present system as it is, Mr. Speaker, does not allow that to happen. And all we are saying, Mr. Speaker, we are not saying to send the young people home. We are saying to engage them in a fashion that they can also provide effectively for themselves and have access to financial activities from the banks and others. Okay? Because, Mr. Speaker, if you increase the amounts by $2 million, you should see a difference in the lives of the people who are drawing down on this $2 million. And if we cannot see a difference, Mr. Speaker, we should ask ourselves the question, what is wrong? We need to ask ourselves this question, Mr. Speaker. So I'm calling on the government, Mr. Speaker, to create some vacant positions so that some of these workers can be appointed. And I'm also calling them in places in the private sector where the NEP are financing persons in the private sector. I am also calling that an arrangement be made with the private sector, Mr. Speaker, so that at a certain stage, these people must be appointed by the private sector, and they're not just there with a carrot dangling in front of them, Mr. Speaker. And if that is an unreasonable call, so be it. But I will make it again if I have to, because I think that these calls are reasonable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wonder sometimes what the constituents of Wesley Woodford Hill Parliamentary have done to this government. Because I note $7.2 million on the contribution for university students. Mr. Speaker, I am now on record saying that I support that, because we must support education. So there's nothing wrong with that. The concern was that I wrote to the Ministry of Education requesting support for students from the area, not even the courtesy of a response I did not receive. Not even the courtesy of a response that I received, Mr. Speaker. Okay? So I took two themselves without having here. I'll leave in peace. Okay? Mr. Speaker, I also wrote, Mr. Speaker, to the Ministry of Education for some support for the 2016-2017 school year for students that were moving from primary to secondary school. Not even the courtesy of a telephone call, much as for a letter, Mr. Speaker, to respond to my request. Mr. Speaker, not even that I received. But when we looked at the Labour Party's private office, we noticed LPOs and books and uniforms being disbursed from there. Mr. Speaker, I am saying that there ought to be a little bit of respect for persons who were elected by the people. There ought to be a little bit of respect for them. Okay? So, Mr. Speaker, when these things happen, it comes across to me as clear victimization against the people of the constituency. This is what it comes across to me, Mr. Speaker. And let me say, Mr. Speaker, I condemn that behavior. It's not right. It's not right. Okay? Because I I allow the respect to the ministers to write to them when I have concerns.
Yep.
But, I mean, no response. But that's all right. That's all right. It is not the right thing, practice that any government minister should adopt. Mr. Ian, you're going to say that. Anyway. But no, man. Ian, look at me in my face and tell me that. Jesus Christ. Ministry of Works, Mr. Speaker. No, that's God's. No, that's God's. That's God's. Road maintenance, Mr. Speaker, $3.5 million in excess. Well, Mr. Speaker, if you pass, anyone who passed through the village of Woodford Hill would cry shame on the entire. Mr. Speaker, the road of Woodford Hill is bad. It is bad, Mr. Speaker. And having written to two former ministers, I've not yet engaged the present minister. Having written to two former ministers, Mr. Speaker, nothing has been done to the roads. Mr. Speaker, in Woodford Hill, you know we complain about holes in roads. Mr. Speaker, in Woodford Hill, it is a set of holes with road. So it is the opposite completely, you know, Mr. Speaker. So we cannot say that it's roads in holes. Okay? We cannot say that it's holes in the roads. It is roads in the holes, Mr. Speaker. And I'm asking of this government, I'm asking of the new Minister of Works, I'm asking of him, please, to pay some attention to the Woodford Hill Main Road. It is in a poor state. And I am begging that some attention be paid to the holes in Woodford Hill so it can become some roads. I'm really asking for that because you shouldn't really. It have been, you know, we had some storms back to back, and the people have been very patient. And when I speak to people, I say, listen, you know, it's an entire country, so we must be patient. But the government must not provoke the people. They must not provoke them. Because what is happening with Woodford Hill, Mr. Speaker, it is not the best thing. When we speak, Mr. Speaker, to the Mangrove Gutter Road, that road was already bad. They came in, Mr. Speaker, to attempt to do some work on the road, started and left the road in a worse condition. That the least they could do is put the road back how they met it. Fine, put it back. It's bad, but at least just put it back how they met it. But to put it worse than how they met it, it cannot be right. It can't be right. And I'm calling the government to let's get serious. Pay some attention to the Wesley constituency, because the situation at the constituency with respect to roads, with respect to employment, with respect to healthcare, Mr. Speaker, is a challenge. The community is suffering. The community is suffering. Why is all of this is happening on roads, Mr. Speaker? We have noticed $4.1 million placed on the York Valley Bridge. There's no road to the bridge and no road from the bridge. But the areas in Woodford Hill, people live there and the farmers farm there. But we put $4.1 million for Maniku and Agouti to run on a bridge because there's no road to, not from the bridge. Okay? So if you were going to negotiate $4 million, I think we should negotiate $4 million to go towards improving the lives of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and had just $1 million of that. $1 million being placed in the Wesley constituency roads, in Woodford Hill Village Road, in the Mangrove Gutter Road, in the Droberton Road, just $1 million of that. It would make a big difference towards the lives of the people of the Wesley and Woodford Hill constituency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, healthcare. Healthcare is extremely important. But we are here time after time looking at increase. We have an overage of about $2.5 million. But the Marigot Hospital, which serves the district, absolutely no mention of it again. And it is time for us to take this matter seriously. Because, is it Mr. Madam now? Madam Speaker, because until such time that our family until such time that our family are at the point where they are somewhere grappling for breath, and we don't have a tank of oxygen, there's no facility to take care of them, we would not understand the significance of ensuring that the healthcare in this area is in order. And as I close up on housing, there's an overage, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, again on housing. The Woodford Hill Council and Wesley Council did receive some support in that housing area, but it was the crumbs from the table because to this date, some of the contractors are not yet paid. Okay, look at the period of time. Some of the contractors who operated on this project have not been paid, and that is a matter of concern because the people work and they need the money. Okay, so I'm calling the government to please look into that and ensure that we can provide the funds required. Obviously, there's something challenging because the funds for Wesley was challenged through the Woodford Hill Council. There must be something that is not right with respect to this particular program. So I call on the government to look at these matters, look at the suggestions that I raised, and seek to see if they can make the lives of the people of the Wesley constituency better, by extension Dominica, if we reduce some wastage and we move forward with this country peacefully. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I move. I was only consulting that. Madam Speaker, I move that the House be suspended until 3 p.m. this afternoon.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable House be suspended until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. This Honorable House stands suspended until 3 p.m. this afternoon.